Will Mullen Automotive, stock symbol MULN, continue to tread water and finally sink? Or will this stock actually pump to newer levels that Twitter is actually looking for? I will break down what we actually know about the stock with these upcoming catalysts and even break down why I think the stock goes from here. But first, we got breaking news from AMD where they have actually shown that their sales have jumped 71%, shrugging off concerns about PC slowdown. So when you're talking about what AMD did, here's the numbers. The earnings per share came in at $1.13 adjusted versus 91 cents expected, which is up over 117% year over year, as well as revenue coming in at $5.89 billion versus the $5.52 billion expected, which is up, like I said, 71% year over year. Now, AMD even guided even better than what analysts expected. And I always talk to you about the guidance is always important when we get these earning calls. But get what happened in the quarter. Where is the stock continually trending or going towards next? And this can be the downfall to a lot of stocks. But not in AMD's case, as they reported, they expect $6.5 billion in sales in the current quarter, ahead of analyst expectations of $6.38 billion. Now, let's talk about one of the things that AMD even highlighted here as well. They said every one of its individual lines of business growing by double digits during the quarter. And they even stole market share from Intel, who gave a disappointing forecast for the June quarter, citing weak PC demand and macroeconomic challenges, with AMD saying that the data points that show that AMD has taken market share from its rival while it tries to get its manufacturing prowess back. This is what the analysts see that's actually going on with AMD. Now, if you want to know more about AMD, man, you definitely want to join my Discord, because over there I talk about AMD a lot. I am passionately investing in AMD, and I'm watching the stock, whether it goes up or goes down. As you see, I like to buy calls, I like to buy puts, and I'm even making it one of the biggest positions in my portfolio. And I currently am set in on AMD contracts for the $115 call of May 20th, okay? Even in this type of environment that we're looking at right now. And you'll see that I actually been picking up shares left and right, and I've been adding to that position. And I don't see that I'm done adding to that position just yet. So if you want to join the Discord, fam, come over there where you want to get access to 3 live streams a week and information about my short trade alerts and my long trade alerts. You definitely don't want to miss out on those. Join the fam. The stocks are running out and they're filling up quick. So where do we see AMD actually going? I have a gap of 99.78 that you need to be paying attention to, up to about $100 mark. But here's the problem that we actually outline right now, is that May 4th actually concludes the current FOMC meeting, as they are going to try to avoid the conversation about whether they're going to conclude still doing 50 basis point hikes or if they're going to increase to 75 point basis hike. And this can put pressure on the market. If the market actually continues to swing to the uptrends that we expect, you can actually see AMD actually push beyond that $100 threshold. And right now, my floor on AMD is still sits at about $85 currently. So anytime that you get a position to actually add AMD, I think this is actually going to be a $250 stock in the next 2 years. So you don't want to miss out on this train if you want to see continuous growth year over year. So what do we have going on with Mullen Automotive that we need to talk about today? Well, let's first start with the image that's here today, where it shows about a week ago that Mullen actually posted this image. Gear up, the wheels are turning. I circled the van in the back as they show that they have the Mullen 1 EV, which is their commercial cargo van that they are actually saying that they're going to produce for a Fortune 500 company that they are actually going to announce at the end of this quarter in Q2. So we are actually getting ready to rev up for this information, and we're looking to see if this is a major catalyst. There's a lot of speculation on Twitter that FedEx could possibly be this Fortune 500 company. Well, why would Twitter actually think that? Actually put in the search engine on Twitter, Mullen FedEx. These where you will start to see a lot of comments at and a lot of information out here that people are doing this speculation behind the scenes type of move. Well, what is the main catalyst that they're using to speculate that it could be FedEx? Here you go. Front desk receptionist administrative assistant job that was posted on many job ad vacancy sites, where they're looking for a front desk receptionist administrative assistant over at Mullen Technologies. And they have this position open at a few of their locations, one in California and definitely one in Mississippi, close to their location in Tunica, Mississippi, at their facility. Well, what is the reason why this is important? Because people are speculating that this receptionist full description shows that they need to be able to create FedEx for the corporate office and auto lots. Now, I am not no genius here or anything of that sort, folks. But just because you have to create a FedEx envelope to actually do an invoice or anything of that sort does not mean that you're doing a partnership with FedEx overall. This is what I think this is one of the most highly speculative things that's actually being said. Now, could it possibly be a deal with FedEx? It possibly could be. It could be quite hyperbole that we could be expecting here. But in my intuition tells me that this one position does not outline that this could be FedEx as the actual eventual Fortune 500 company, if there is one to begin with. Let's talk about some good news that Mullen is actually talking about in the news media right now. They're looking to actually start in October a 19-city tour where they would actually call it the Strikingly Different Tour, where they would take the Mullen 5 EV crossover across the country to offer front row 5 reservation holders the first chance to test drive and experience the Mullen 5. On their website, they have the locations listed for what the 19-city tour will look to appear to be, and they say that the test drives will be conducted on either a closed circuit or racetrack, and that the event will be limited to a set number of drivers per day. So definitely make sure that you take advantage of this if you're able to get out to these locations and actually report back how you felt about the Mullen 5 EV crossover. I look forward to your comments when this tour starts in October. We'll rehash that then. But then let's talk about on April 29th, Mullen says it's filed his ATVM loan application for the Mullen 1 EV cargo van program. Funds will be used to accelerate high volume EV cargo van production at Mullen's manufacturing facility outside Tunica, Mississippi. Okay, so what is this ATVM? This is what Mullen actually says in their press release. They say Mullen submitted for pre-qualification on April 25th, 2022, and was invited by the Department of Energy to formally submit its application on April 29th, 2022. Okay, so let's break down a little bit more information here. David Misery, the CEO of Mullen, actually says, I also want to thank the Department of Energy for their continued support of our initiation to put Americans back to work. Now, this also says that the Department of Energy has closed on more than $8 billion in loans. So what is this ATVM loan program? It's called the Advanced Technology Vehicles Manufacturing Loan Program overall, okay? And this is from the Department of Energy's Loan Program Office website. So let's talk about what is the process for obtaining a loan. First, you have a pre-application consultation, right? Well, basically, the consultation is to discuss their proposed project and learn about the loan program office's process before formally applying. So once again, as we go back, you'll see that that Mullen says they submitted for pre-qualification on April 25th, 2022. So basically, they had a discussion on April 25th, 2022 with the Department of Energy Loan Program Office, and just to discuss their project and to formally get the approval to actually do the request and learn more about the loan program's process and formally applying for the actual program. So now that the formal application process is beginning, does this really mean that Mullen has already been in the process of receiving a loan? Not necessarily, because there's some current steps that Mullen needs to go through currently at this point in time in the application intake process, where they need the loan program office to evaluate the project for basic eligibility, for the loan program office to evaluate technical, financial, environmental, and legal aspects of the project for the viability of the thresholds of the loan. And then the loan program office needs to invite eligible applicants to preliminary due diligence. Now, what does that preliminary due diligence look like it's going to be if they make it to this step in the process? The loan program office will further evaluate, like I said before, the technical, financial, environmental, and legal aspects, confirm the eligibility of the vehicle and components, and the applicant and project costs, provide the applicant with preliminary terms and conditions of a proposed ATVM loan, where they actually get the proposal of how much they can actually give them in a loan and how much that interest rate is going to be, which typically is directed by what the interest rate is from the Department of Treasury. Now, if the applicant agrees to the preliminary terms and conditions, the loan program office invites the applicant to advance due diligence. Now, this is one of those things that's critical here, that loan more likely depends on the way that the terms are, will have to be paid back. It would not be a grant. So this could become a compounding issue on the balance sheet, where Mullen could actually go further in debt than actually being cash equipped. So, but the company also said they expected to report in excess of $65 million in cash and cash equivalents when it files its Form 10Q, their quarterly report for the second quarter ending March 31st. Now, right now, they have not listed when they're going to do their actual earnings report. But according to TradingView, looking at the website, they show that Mullen should be reporting their earnings on 16 May of the upcoming month. So let's talk about what is going on here, what we should be paying attention to. They say that they have made tremendous progress in key areas over the past 3 months. We have now more cash than enough capital to execute on our commitments for 2022, including the start of the Mullen 5 EV crossover program and continued development on the Mullen 1 EV cargo van. The balance sheet is the strongest it has ever been in our history. So what that means to me is that they have sold a lot of shares and liquidated their stockholders so much that they have now came up with this cash by selling warrants and, like I said before, liquidating those shares. But the Mullen 1 is coming to the market in Q2 2022. This should be a significant catalyst if this is true, and will be available in 2 classes of electric vans and will be designed, manufactured, and customized in Mullen as its Tunica, Mississippi facility. Now, we can argue about if that's going to be the case here for Mullen, if it's actually being built by Americans or if it's actually being shipped from China, according to the Hindenburg research, and then being put together in a U.S. facility. Significant difference, slight difference. Nah, it's just a play on words, but who cares, right? Let's talk about where the stock is actually going at this point in time, okay? What we're looking at when it comes to this stock is I have not yet changed my levels of what I look at this stock. This stock has have to get through an upbeat here of about $1.40 for this to start making that move that you want to see towards $2 or so, and maybe even $2.50 if it can actually exceed the cup of this cup and handle that it actually was forming and got beaten down for in the last few weeks. Now, what I actually see is that the floor on Mullen could actually be about 80 cents here, especially if it breaks that dollar floor that we actually have set in currently at this point in time. This is a pivotal month for Mullen. If Mullen comes out, any type of interpretation that's giving on this stock where it seems like it's a slight negative could be catastrophic for this stock overall. So this is not financial advice, but you definitely want to be careful, and you definitely don't want to put in money that you cannot afford to lose. So play this game safely when you're looking at this company from the macro level. So when it comes to Mullen, it does have positive and negative news that you need to pay attention to, and some news that really don't mean anything at this point in time. So you got to be sure that you're understanding what you're looking at for this type of company. When it comes to the Twitterverse, they're going to pump this stock, and please do not get all your research off of Twitter. But if you're going to, definitely make sure that you're doing even more due diligence to understand what is going on here. There are a lot of catalysts in play for this company, which can make this stock do quite well in the next couple weeks here. Maybe even potentially 2x from here, and maybe with it get behind a little pump here with the short interest that's there, could maybe even be a 3 to 5x potential play. But I think that is highly unlikely, as there are so many catalysts that seems like they are playing the longer game, where you may be investing in this company and looking for that return on investment, which may take 4 to 5 years if it ever comes to fruition. If you're looking in the short term for a 3 to 6 month play, this is probably not it for you, and you may want to find other direction to take. So if you can break even on this potential stock, that may be the opportunity that you want to look for. Or I could be totally wrong and this thing could shoot to the moon. It could happen either way, just based on what the market wants to see. We've seen those things happen with AMC and GameStop and many other stocks along the way, especially in the last few weeks with one of those stocks being named Redbox. So if you found value in this content, you definitely need to hit that like button. Definitely check out the links in the description. Don't forget to sign up for that Discord. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Peace.